Yeah, hi everybody. So today I like to assist one of my actually students, one of you who has actually asked me that if you have to use multiple cells in Power Query from different rows, then how we can do that. He has given me this type of example. He's building this formula, if you see, and I also like to thank you. I really like to give you I like to actually give you a big hug and also you know want to say that big thank you for making this Power Query and the M code such a big success, and thanks for all those fantastic reviews. And I think it is with this hope that till the time I keep getting this type of a love and you know the feedbacks, I will keep uploading the stuff. Okay, thank you so much for making all the parts, all the three parts, which I have recorded for you, for making it such a big success. Okay, so this is the question. If you see that basically the user says that here in the very first row, he's multiplying the total lease with the discount, right? He's multiplying these two. At the same time, he's adding the next two, the product of next two numbers also. And this is obviously in the continuation form. So as you go down, 1000 will be multiplied with this number, and then the next two cells from the next row will be again multiplied, and then they will be added with this. So we have now a requirement that how we can do this in Power Query. Okay, so this is the formula. I hope you have understood. Now let me take you to the Power Query how we can do this, right? So when you are watching this, obviously because I'm uploading this video next to the list, and next to the Reckitt, the chapters, so I believe that you have already seen how to work with the list and how to work with the Reckits, because that's what sort of thing I'm going to use here. So this is not a obviously lecture for somebody who doesn't know anything about list and the Reckits. Now this is your table, correct? Okay, now what I want to do is, and by the way, these numbers are different as you can see here. Okay, this is a different value. Of course, we have to understand the concept. Now I have to multiply these two numbers. Okay, so if you have to multiply these two numbers for every row, well, it's very easy. We know that we can select these two in that sequence. In multiplication, you can select any sequence, and then if I have to add the column, I can go here and I can say that I want to multiply these two, right? And you see the multiplications done, right? Anyways, let me remove this. Now this is a Power Query step, right? You don't need any sort of M code skills here, right? But because we have to multiply this and this, and we have to then add the multiplication of the next row from a total lease and discount, I cannot simply just say that, multiply these two, isn't it? So that was the thing. So how I'm going to do is, we want to definitely insert a one column. So let's go here. Now, before I further go, just a quick revision for you. Now, what if I say that I want to extract this monthly rent, this all the values from this particular table, right, which is change type, right? How will you do that? You know that we can simply go in the fx and we can say that hash change type, and then in the square brackets we will write that the column name, right? Or you can simply select the, let's say this is total lease I want. You can simply select this and you can right click and you say that I want to drill down. Same formula will be built in the next step. You can see hash change type, and in the square brackets we have got total lease amount, and then I can go and perform the list functions on this, right? So this is the way how we actually extract the column from the table whenever we want it, right? Same way, if you have to extract one single value, let's say I want to get this 1200 value, I can select this and I can right click and I can say drill down. You will get the 12,000 as a record, not as a list, because it's a single value. Or otherwise, what you can do, you can click on this fx. Let me click OK. Let's say this time we will not use the Power Query feature. We will simply go and write the formula. Now you see in the next step, in this new step, Power Query adds the previous step, right? I always call this not as a previous step, but as a table, isn't it? Because every step actually represents the table, the data, or you can say. Now, in the change type, what you're actually looking, first of all, we will target that. So we're looking for total leads, right? So I can start typing here total leads. Remember, this is just a revision for you, right? Because you need these type of the revisions before I actually uh, uh, take it up the real question here. Now once this is done, I want to go and use the curly brackets to reach to my that particular value. So this, if I need, let's say 12,000 or 3,000, this is 0 index, first index, and this is third index, right? So if I write here 3 and I press enter, should I be able to see 3,000? That's the question now. Okay, so I see here 2,000. Okay, I beg your pardon, actually let's go back here. It's okay, sorry about that. 0, 1, and 2, right? So I should write here 2 actually, not 3. So let's go back here and I should change this to 2. Anyways, you got the point, right? So this is how we always go and calculate these things. And if you want to be quick, then we can directly also click on this and we can see drill down. I have explained these things before also. And you see the index, the second position gets created here. Now, of course, when I have seen that M code, when you use the feature, when you use the right click, it inserts the index before the field name, but it's one of the same thing. I mean, even if you copy, cut and paste it here and you press enter, the things will not change. So far, so good. We have seen all these things, right? Now, let's now start the agenda. Now, you see, first of all, what do you want to do? As per the question, I want to multiply these two and then I want to add these two, the multiplication of these two, right, in front of this obviously. So we don't want to insert a new step. That is the first thing. We actually want this time a new column to be inserted because we want that calculation in front of this, right? So we go in the custom column. Now, when I go in the custom column, I can multiply these two, I can multiply this, the total is with this called the discount, right? But now you please tell me that how we are going to refer to the next one, because we want to actually basically do this type of a thing. We want to again multiply the total is with the discount, right? But the problem here is that if you do the calculation this way, what will happen? Multiplication of this will happen twice and the result will be added. And that is something we do not want, right? So what I'm trying to say here is I have given you a scenario that you may like to, you may go ahead and do this and then you will get stuck, right? Where are you going to stuck? You will think before pressing OK. Well, I think this is not looking perfect because how Power Query will know that I have to add this, I have to multiply these two, and then these two I understand, but what about these two? And then I have to add these two with this, right? Because you're not actually referring to the particular record here, record or record, whatever you want to pronounce it, right? I don't know from which country you're going to watch this. So you have to create an index first of all, and once the index is created, like this is the this is the zero record, this is the first record, this is the third record, then actually we can go and use, we can achieve these type of results. Because right now if I just say okay, what will happen, you will see the same number getting multiplied, as you can see here, right? 25,000 multiplied with 0.1 is 2500, 2500 plus 2500, right? So that's absolutely, it's not making any logic. So now see here, we will simply go and use the index column, and I will start from the 0 because 0 means that when you go in do these calculations, I told you this index starts with 0, right? If I have to uh, pull out this number or this number, it's always like go inside this table in this step and then pick this field and then in the curly brackets you write 0, right? So this is why we are going to use this. Now see the magic. I hope that I will be able to show you the magic. Of course we will do that. Okay, so now you see here the point is uh, I want to multiply two things, right? So I say that where is my uh, total lease? That's my total lease, right? Right. Now, before I say multiplied with discount like this, again, we are doing the same thing. But now this time, when I multiply, I want to make sure that index should be a part of this, right? Index should be a part of this. See this now. You have to write this in the curly brackets, isn't it? Because that is how it is going to pick the single value from here, right? So same thing we will do in the curly brackets, index. That's the magic of index, right? I close this. Now in this way, what happens, you know that when this formula will be applied, index for every row there is a separate index like 0, 1, 2 and 3, you know. So here we are saying, look boy, you have to pick this total lease amount, right? But which one? Which one? You have to pick actually this, the index, which is 0 for the very first row. So 25,000 multiplied with this, right? At the same time, what we will do, we will say plus, and we will come here. Again, we have to pick the same value, right? So I'm going to say total lease amount. And again, I'm going to use the index, right? Index, right? This time it is the next index. Yes, index plus 1. Because when the calculation will happen, let's say for the first row, 0 plus 1 will make it 1. So immediately your Power Query will go here, because that's what the index was under the header called total lease, and same for the discount, right? So that's basically our plan. Let's see that we are able to achieve this or not, right? Very good question, fundamentally. So it is quite simple now. Once you understand this, once you watch this, once you finish this video, so again we'll pick the discount, right? And in the discount, curly brackets, and I use the index, and I'll go and say plus 1. Remember that you have to add plus 1 here, not after the curly brackets, because once the curly brackets are closed, this will be treated as that we are trying to pull out one specific bracket from here, one specific value, right? Now I have written all this, and I will just, to make sure the things go in our favor, I'll put the open and closing parentheses. So this is a separate section, and then this is a separate section, and this also gives us the good, actually, the view of this, right? So I've done this, and let's see now what's gonna happen, guys, right? Let's go and press the enter. Oh wow, we got an error. Okay, no problem. Now see that we cannot convert the value to 25,000 to type list. This actually says that I cannot convert this to a list. Now please, I really don't want to get into the definition of this error. The point is very simple. One thing I missed here, right? One thing I missed here, and I did this error deliberately so that you always remember this point, right? Because this is the most important thing. You see what happens now, because I'm actually referring to these particular what you call the values, right? And I'm not actually adding a new step, because when you add a new step, the previous step always gets recorded, right? Automatically, Power Query inserts the new step for you. Now in this thing, the only thing you need to remember that here also we have to add the step name. Okay, so we can write the steps here, right? Or you can go in the view and advanced editor. You can, if you're comfortable with this the bigger view, I mean, you can do that here also. It's up to you, right? Like here we are saying total lease amount and then index, so we just have to prefix the table name, which is called and added index. Okay, so either you do this here, or you can do this job right in the formula bar also. So I'm just going to actually go here and start typing hash, and then the added index, because this is exactly that step, the previous step. So it will go, and now Power Query will refer to this step, and inside this step or table, it data whatever, it picks the specific, the fields, total lease and the discount. So I'm just going to click on this, right? You see the double quotes are there, everything is there. Now in the discount also, I will do the same thing. I press hash. So Power Query is giving me this help. Very nice. Added index. And then here also, I'll simply go and write here hash added index, right? So we are prefixing the previous step, which is very important, and that's why I have seen that Power Query doesn't actually return the value if you do not write the step name, right? So nothing we have changed actually fundamentally. We have just now actually have given more clarity that where exactly we are supposed to go, right? So it is this very step. Now let me press enter and let's see that if we are able to do this now or not. Okay, so let's go here. Now you can see that I have got the value here. We have got the value here, and let's go and cross verify if we have got the right values or not, right? So, and of course there is an error coming because you see the last value is not there. I mean, this is the last row and there's nothing after that. So we can use the error handlers also here. Okay, we can use the error handlers in PowerQuery also, that if any error comes, then you just have to multiply this and this. Or maybe you can also go and say that you can put the if condition, that if the row is this row is the last row, then you don't have to actually go and find out the next row, because this is itself is the last row. Okay, anyways, let's we will just look into that part. Let me first of all cross verify the things that if they are correct or not. So I simply say load to, and let me put the table value here. Yeah, okay, so these are the values, and now let's do this here. This multiply by this plus this multiplied by this. Okay, let's see that. So we are, I think, getting the right answer. Bingo. Fantastic, right? Obviously the last one is the error. Now so now we have done this, the last part, that how to actually get rid of this, what you call the error. Okay, so let's just first of all let's go back to the Power Query. So now what I can do is that I can find out here the maximum number here. What is the maximum serial number of this? And for that we can use the list.max. Don't worry, in the coming tutorials you will find a lot of list functions also. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. So if I have to find out what is the highest serial number here from this serial number, obviously I have to first pull out the serial number. To pull out the serial number, what we are supposed to do. Let me just quickly go here and say that. So I want this drill down. Now the serial number will come, right? So once I have a serial number here like this, right? So what you do, you will provide this entire the serial number list. We can write here list dot, and then we can use the list dot max function. Okay, close the bracket, and like this. So I'm just now giving you this the demonstration that if I press enter, what will happen. Then we will use this in the if. So if I press enter, you see I have got here 16, right? That's it. So 16 is the highest number. So let's just go and copy this, and I remove this now. Okay, we don't need this actually, because we have to go and write this in the added custom. Okay, so here if I just go here, so here in this entire the each section, basically I have to write a if function. So again, you can go to the view and you can go to the advanced editor also, but I'm okay with this. You see, so here what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to write if, and then we are supposed to write else. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we'll say that if, okay, if the serial number of the current row, right? So we'll simply say if, let me just go and press enter. Sorry, not enter actually, but I just wanted to give some space here. So I say that if, first of all, the previous step, and I want to retrieve now the serial number, right? Serial number. Okay, and serial number from the index basically. So index, right? Of course, you can rebuild this if you're not so good in encode as on date. You can rebuild the function, but this is how we do it, and this is all about the practice. So we are saying that the serial number which the index will give. Remember, the index are flowing like 0, 1, 2, 3. So here I will have a serial number like 1 and then 2 and all that. So if the serial number is equals to the function which I'm going to write here, this one, right? Because this is going to give us the highest number. So if they are equal, that means you are actually on the last row, right? So then we will say that you do actually all this calculation, whatever we have done here, right? And at last here, I mean, because this now should go in the else mode in case if this is not the case, if they are not equal. Well, then we just want to actually multiply only the current indexes, not the plus one index, isn't it? Right? So this is how I should write here else, or I just go and copy and paste this here, and now multiplying the current rows, right? Now this is that uh, this bracket is expected. So I close this. As you can see now, it highlights this. This is something I really like about the Power Query. And now let's see that. So it says that the name added custom wasn't recognized. Now added custom, okay, so this is the added custom actually. No, so it's not actually the added custom, because added custom, you know, that basically was when I added the new step. Remember, just to show you this how this calculation works. So it actually used the added custom, but right now added custom is the current step where we are writing, so I can't refer the same, right? So basically it's my mistake that it has to be actually added index, the previous basically the table, isn't it? So I think now all is looking good. Anyways, let's go and press enter, and let's see that. Okay, there we go. So it's working now, and I still see the error. Okay, wait a second. Okay, sorry, it's actually not equals to, right? Because if they are not equal, then you have to pick the next row values. If they are equal, then you don't have to. I think this was the issue. Let me press enter and let's see that. Okay, there we go. Fantastic. So you see that now we have got the value here, right? So this value is coming from by multiplying 1200 with this 3.4. So that was the thing. Now I say close and load, and yeah, so 40880. So this is the right answer. Okay, so and you know that this data will be refreshed. So we have got the right answer. Okay, so you see that sometimes when student asks me that, you know, so how encode is going to be beneficial. So this is the perfect actually the example, because if you have an understanding of the encode, how basically the codes are built up, the previous steps, how they are written, you know, followed by double quotes and the hash, you know, and then you know the list, and then you know the records, you know, it always helps. Okay, so this is all about this. So now, so what we have actually understood from this lecture, now if you have to go and take the values from different the rows, from the different inside the rows, you know, from different columns, and the, you know, you want to pick any specific record, you can do that very easily. Of course you have to use the index. Okay, you have to create a this the index, and then you can go and refer to that, because remember that's how basically when I, you know, go and want to pick any particular the record, that's how basically you go and, you know, work with the Power Query, because this is very important. Here it is written one as manually, but when you go and when you're going to pass in the field which is index, that's basically this is how it's going to be taking the place, and then we have to write the scale brackets, because we were writing the constant. So constant you can, I mean, write in this way also. Okay, so this is basically the overall concept. All the best, guys.